Hello friends, welcome to lecture series on computer proficiency test, that is CPT for SSC CGL exam presented by W. We are now in the 7th lecture where we'll be talking about the basics of PowerPoint. Okay, so let's get into the lecture. So in the last lecture we have talked about the basics of Excel. We have covered everything that is required for the exam, and also we have took one demo exercise to teach you how to tackle a question, how to tackle the Excel sheet in exam. Fine. Now let's do the same for PowerPoint also. First, let's look at all the basic terms. So all these terms will be used in exam and we'll be covering all of them in a quick revision session. Okay. So again, before I start, I would like to stress that this is kind of a revision session rather than teaching. So if you don't know the basics, go to our previous lectures. We have given a link on how to start off with Excel and PowerPoint. You can go through those videos to understand the basics and then come to this. Only then it will be helpful, right? Now, let's get into the basics lecture. MS PowerPoint. So before I get started, I would like to again stress on two things. One is the version. So in exam, you might get any of the 2007, 2010 or 2013 versions. But in PowerPoint also, all three versions look almost similar. So if you know one version, you can easily tackle the other two. Okay. So currently we are using MS Office 2007 version here to explain you. And the second important thing is this lecture will cover everything that is required for exam, but this is in a revision mode, not in teaching mode. So we don't want to teach you right from basics. Okay, we'll just be quickly revising all those things which are required for exam. That is the main motive of this. So if you don't know the basics of PowerPoint, maybe you should go back to the previous lectures. We have given you links on to how to start with PowerPoint. Maybe you can watch those videos and get basics and then come to this lecture. Only then this will be helpful. All right. Now let's get started. So let's quickly go through those basic things. No, first, what is a slide? So this entire area where you are doing your work, it's like a sheet of paper. This is a slide. On left hand side you can see many slides. We have 4 slides over here. So you can create as many slides as you want. That's how we work in PowerPoint. The second important thing is basics of font. So in font, as you know, all those things are almost similar to Excel. Okay. So I'll just quickly be going through all those things. If there is anything important, I'll just stress there a bit. So first, if you want to change font, you can just go here and type whatever you want. I'm changing it to Georgia, or you can just go to this drop down menu and select whatever you want. Fine. And similarly with font size, you can select whatever font size you want from this option. And to use bold, italics and underline, you can get the options over here. So if I click on bold, it gets bold, italic, underline. If you click again, they'll be removed. So that's how you do bold, italic and underline. And here is where you get font color. So just select this and select any color you want. Let me select orange for now. Okay. Now the next thing is alignment. Yeah. So alignment. So if you want to make this center aligned, the option will be over here. These are alignment options. If you want to make it right aligned, you can do it this way. If you want to justify it, you can use this. So let me put it at center line for now. This is left, center, right and justify. Fine. And there is one more type of alignment, that is vertical alignment. Currently it's at top, right? If you want to get it to middle or bottom, that option will be over here. Align text. Top, middle, bottom. Fine. Currently I'll put it middle. So these are the 7 alignment options. Here there are 3 and here there are 4 for horizontal alignment. So all these 7 are really important. Okay. Now let's get into bullets and numbering. So bullets and numbering options will be over here. If you want to start a bulleted list, you can just click here. A bulleted list will start. So if you just keep on pressing enter and typing, that will keep on creating a bulleted list. This is a bulleted list, right? Same with numbered list. If you just select this and click on this numbered list, you'll get that numbered list. Okay, this is simple, but for exam you need to know slightly more in detail about bulleted and numbered lists. One is you have to know how to change this type of bullets. Currently it's at small circular dots, right? If you want different types of bullets, then go to this arrow mark and you have different shapes. Okay, in exam mostly they'll ask only these basic shapes, so you need not go more further into this. So if you want to change it to this shape, I can just click on this. Same with numbering lists. So if you just click on the arrow mark over here, you will have different types of numbered lists. So you can select anything, whichever is required for the exam, right? So let me select this for now. Now the second important thing is how to create subpoints. So if you just keep pressing enter, you will get the list one by one. But if you want to create a subpoint, you have to press tab. Okay, so if you press tab, you will get a sublist, right? You can keep typing the sublist. If you want sublist, you can press one more tab. So if you keep on pressing tab, it will be forming more sublists, right? If you want to get back, you can press shift plus tab. That's how I got back. So there you can again make a list. If I again press shift plus tab, I come to the main list. Okay, so this is how you create sublists and come back to normal main list, subpoints, and come back to main points, right? You have to use tab to go forward to sublists, and you have to use shift plus tab to come back. Same with numbering also. Just press tab so that a sublist will start. Press a tab again so that another sublist will start. Press shift plus tab to come back to normal list, and press shift plus tab again to come back to main list. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Just use tab and shift plus tab to juggle between subpoints and main points. Fine. So this is all about the basics. Now let's move forward. Now layout. So in exam mostly we'll be using only one layout, that is over here. So if you go to layout option over here, you will be using title and content. So there are many other layouts, but for exam purpose you will be needing only this, because all the previous year questions they have been using only this. Okay, so if you click on this, what you will get is you will get a simple layout to add a title and a subpoints. So you might ask me whether this is necessary. I would say it's not. So you might even create all these boxes and make your own design, but you know, sometimes it's easier to just have a template and quickly add text over there. Like I can quickly enter title over here, and I can start typing my subpoints over here, or main points rather. Okay, and I can create subpoints. So like this I can just continue doing the points over here, and this is the title. Later I can adjust it, right? You know how to resize it. You can just click, drag whatever you want. Okay, so now you should be able to apply all those which we have done in basics: font options, size options, bold, italic, all this we have already looked at in the last slide. So maybe whatever they ask in the question, just look at that and you should be able to apply every font detail and alignment, other things. Fine. So this is all about layout. I just wanted to show you that if you want a layout, you have to use this layout option. But there is one more thing. In case if you start typing many points over here, there will be a different problem. I hope you already observed it. So what it's doing now is it's trying to shrink the size of the points so that it gets fitted in the box, right? So if you don't want this to happen, like sometimes you get really frustrated that you made this font size to be some 25. Now once you started typing points, it compressed itself to 20, right? You might get this headache. So in case you get this, all you have to do is just right click on the edge of the box. You get format shape, go to text box. Here there will be auto fit option. Just press do not auto fit. Currently it's set shrink text on overflow. That's why it's getting resized. So if you just press this, you get all the points over here. Now again you can do necessary adjustments so that all the points come to this box without changing the font sizes. Fine. So this is all about layouts, and if you have a problem with layouts, how do you solve is what is discussed in the slide. Okay. So if you just want to use layouts, go to this option. That's it. Now let's get into the next thing. So this is the most important thing. How do you create text box and shapes? So if you want to create text box and shapes, go to insert option over here. There will be a text box option over here. You can just click on it and start typing. So this is how you create a text box. If you want to create a shape, most probably rectangle shapes are used in exam. So you can go to shapes here. There will be a rectangle box over here or here, both are same, and you can start drawing it. Okay, so this is about text box and rectangle, but you need to know a lot about this because these will be used in many different forms. First is you need to know how to resize. So mostly the initial rectangle box which you will be using would be for the outer border. Okay, so what you need to do next is you need to know how to change the fill. Fill means the background color of this box. So go to format, there will be shape fill. If I just want to make it a outer border line, I don't want this to be filled with any color, so I just press no fill. See, it just became the outer border. So this is one use of this rectangular box. Now I can change the shape outline to black because that's what is given in exams mostly, and you can do anything. You can select any color you want from here. Okay, same applies for this also. Text box, you can do any fill, you can put any color you want, and you can put any outline color from here, right? Same applies for both rectangle and text boxes. Okay, and the next most important thing is you should know how to change the border line styles and weights and all. So for that you need to again right click, go to format shape, there will be line style over here. So here you get an option to select width and compound type. So what width does is it increases the thickness. You can increase to any amount you want or what is mentioned in the exam. Next is compound type. So most probably you will be given a double line like this. See, the line has changed to a double line. So if you want to insert a double line, you shouldn't generally insert two rectangle boxes, even though that solves purpose, but generally the examiner expects you to use this double line option. Fine. So by using this, changing this width and double line, you can get to the required thing that is asked in the question. So the line style, line color, everything will be found here. So even though you can find it in this box, but the line style you can't find it over here. So that's why it's always better to go to format shape. There you will find every option that is required. Okay, same applies for this text box also. There's nothing difference between rectangle and text box. You can do line style, increase the width to 10 and compound type to double, and you may even change color of the line to black, and whatever you want, can change fill from here itself. Okay, or you can even change from here also. Fine. So this is all about text boxes, shapes, and how do you change the borders, how do you change fill colors. These are very important, and while seeing an example demo in the next slide, maybe you will get to know exact use of all this in the real question. Okay, and one more important thing is background color. So currently we have the slide color to be white, and in exam sometimes you have to change the background color. So for that, just right click anywhere where it is empty. There will be an option called format background. Here you can select any color you want. Maybe I can select gray for now. See, and you can just say close. That's it. So if you want to change background color, just right click, go to format background. Okay, so that's all about formatting background and text boxes and rectangles. Now let's get into the next slide. So now we'll talk about print settings, header and footer. So header and footer is something which you will be asked in every question, in every exam. Okay, in every exam you will get in that question you will have an option to insert a footer. That will be an instruction in the question. Okay, so what you need to do is just go to insert. There will be something called header and footer over here. So here you can include date and time if they ask, or include your name and roll number by selecting this footer over here. So name and roll number is something which is must. You have to do it in every PowerPoint slide. Mostly they'll ask, even though if they don't ask, it's better for you to put name and roll number, at least with pen, that is also fine. But if they ask in header or footer, definitely do it. Okay, so what you need to do is just press name and roll number and type your name and roll number. That's it. So if I just say apply to all, so the name and roll number will come over here. Similarly, you can add whatever you want. You can add date and time or slide number, whatever is asked in the question, you can do it from here. Fine. So, but most importantly, remember this: if they ask you to type your name and roll number and footer, you will have to use the option over here. Okay. Now, the next thing is print settings. So in PowerPoint, the print settings are very simple because you don't need to change margins or page settings or whatever. Nothing overshoots also. So it's very simple. You just have to go and print. That's it. So before printing, it's always good if you just go to print preview. How do you go? Go to this home button. in print there will be an option called print preview. So if you just select this, you will get a print preview of the page. Fine. So this is how you need to do print settings. But there is one thing I would like to cover. In case you get a different slide size when you open a PowerPoint, there some people might get a wider slide. Suppose this looks more squarish, right? This is called 4:3 aspect. If you get a wider slide, like a wide screen slide, you can change it by going to design, page setup. So the slide size will be over here. So currently we have on screen show slide type, that is 4:3 ratio. Suppose you get this when you open the presentation, that is this looks so wide, you can always go to page setup and change it to 4:3. In exam they'll ask only 4:3 slides. So in case if you open the PowerPoint and you get a wider slide, you can just go here and change it. Fine. So that is all about basics. I hope this is very clear, and this is all is required for you for PowerPoint. So if you know how to play with all these things, then you can do any question. Okay. So now let us take a small demo of previous year type question, so that you will know exactly on how to use them, and also how to solve a question. How do you do a presentation slide? How do you tackle that question? Fine. So let's get into the demo lecture now. So let's get into the demo lecture now. I've now opened a Microsoft PowerPoint file, and here we have a practice set. So this is from W's 100 practice sets for CPT ebook. So I'll be using this practice set to demonstrate this demo lecture. Fine. So before I get started, I would like to again remind you on one thing, that you should have a timer when you're taking a practice set, because now I'm explaining you, I'm not having a timer, but whenever you are taking a practice set, you should have a timer. That is must. And especially in PowerPoint, there will be a lot of text to type, so people face a shortage of time. So it's important for you to manage time well. For that, don't neglect the timer. Okay. So let's get started. So first I would quickly go through the instructions. If you have done a lot of practice, these instructions look very obvious. These all talk about how the text should be formatted and all. So I can directly ignore them for now, for the initial phase. So what I'll do now is I'll directly start typing all this text. So before doing that, I just need to have two text boxes, that is one for the heading and one for this. So initially when I open PowerPoint, I get something like this, but at least I'm not comfortable with this. What I'll do is I'll quickly delete these two and go to layout, which we have discussed in the last lecture. Go to title and content. Now I'll start adding title here, and before I start typing, I'll just make the format shape text box to do not autofit, because I don't want my font options to get changed, right? Go to text box, do not autofit. So for both of them I did that, and now I will start adding title. So the title says meanings of words. Okay, I'll do all the formatting later. First, what I wanted to do is I want to quickly start typing so that I don't waste time. Okay, so I would start typing everything. Bob's your uncle, that's in cap. Now there's a bulleted list, and the bulleted list is in this type of bullet. So let me select it and start typing it. This is a well used phrase in the UK. So just start typing everything without worrying much about all the formats and all, because all those you can do at one go in the last, because that will be very fast. Okay, so this is the main point, and after this there are subpoints. How do you go to subpoint? Just press tab. Okay, so once I press tab, I go to subpoint, and there I can type again all this. So while typing, you might get a doubt that will all this really fit in my slide. So never have that doubt, because the problem statement itself is in a slide, and they give all the instructions about font and all. So maybe once you give formatting to everything, they should definitely fit in the slide. Otherwise the question is wrong, right? So do not worry about that. Just keep typing completely. So as you see, there's a lot of typing. So even in previous years, many students have come out and told the same thing. They did not find enough time because of lot of text. They did not expect this much text. So that's why when you do all this practice sets, your mind will be mentally prepared to know that what is coming in exam. So you can plan really well and go there and perform as really good, so that you don't have to take any risk, right? So I've just done with the first part. So what I'll do is I'll quickly fast forward this. I'll type all the remaining parts. Okay. So let me quickly fast forward it here. I've just finished typing all this text here. Okay. So now let's get into formatting. So what is the heading? They told Arial, it should be underlined, bold and italics, and font size should be 28, right? So just select this. So they told font size should be 28 and font should be Arial, and it should be bold, italics and underlined. Okay. And after that they told that they did not tell anything about the color and border. So but as you can see orange here, you'll have to keep orange. So just go to shape fill. Here I can see orange. Okay. Just close this. And also the text color is white. So go here and select white. So we are now done with the heading. Now secondly, go to this inside box. So what is it here? Let's look at what are the instructions. The content told that the font should be 14. 14 means the general font. And 18 for the subheadings. So these are the subheadings. Okay. So Bob's your uncle should be is a subheading. So it should be 18. And this is also a subheading. This is 18. And these are all general fonts. They told 14, right? Same with this also. Now you know what to do. You can quickly give same font for everything, right? You can do all the formatting work like this at last, so that you will be in a good flow. You know where to select the formatting option, and you can quickly keep selecting and giving that formatting option. So what happens is, if you start typing and formatting then itself, you'll be doing two things at once in mix. So that might slow down your efficiency, that might slow down your speed. So that's why I prefer to generally do all the formatting at last. Okay. So see here, that's how it is. And maybe you can just increase this a bit so that the entire text fits into this box, and try to get it to as close as what it is given. Okay. So what else? Now if you see clearly, the first line there's a space, maybe you can also do that, and the background is blue. So go to format, go to shape fill and select light blue, because that matches it mostly. And the font color is white, so again select white. And now if you see, the border is double lined black line, right? So go to right click, format shape, go to line style, go to double line, and increase the width so that it nearly matches with it. So this somewhat looks nearly decent, right? And what else is missing? So if you see clearly, there is an outer border also on the page. So for that, what I would do is go to insert, go to shapes, select rectangle, and just draw an outer box. Right now I'll make it no fill, because I don't want it to obstruct this view, right? And the outside border looks black in color, so again go to shape outline, select it to be black. Fine. So this more or less matches with this, except that we need to give more footer also. So to get more space, maybe you can just drag it a bit lower, so you can zoom in and control it in a minute pace. And maybe move it up so that you get enough space for footer. So now how do you add footer? Just go to insert, header and footer, date and time, and in footer just add your name and roll number. Just click on apply. You got it. And now they gave some instructions for footer also. They told that add date, time also. We have just added date. So for that, just again go to header and footer. Here there's no option, so go to date and time. Okay, here you can select date and time. So the format somewhat looks this way. So just select it and say apply. Now you need to select font and font size. So they told their font should be Arial and font size should be 16 for footer. So you can just select this box, go to home, select the font to be Arial and font size to be 16, and it is black in color. So let's put the font color to be black. So the same for name and roll number also. Font color is black, size is 16, and font is Arial. Okay. So now we are done with the slide. So that's what is asked and we are done with it. Maybe now you can do simple adjustments to make it more nearer to what they asked, but if time is not sufficient, this is more than enough to easily pass, right? So this is what I would follow generally. Okay, so what I would do is first quickly type off every text so that I don't waste any time in looking at what to do. After I type text, then I can worry about how to format and all. Fine. So this is how I believe is the best way to approach any PowerPoint presentation. So we have looked at all the basics that are required for the exam in PowerPoint, and also we have looked at a demo of a practice set where we intended to show you how to approach a PowerPoint slide, how to start answering it and all. Okay, so that is all in the basics of PowerPoint. In the next lecture, we'll talk about the practice sets ebook, where we'll be telling you about a ebook which has 100 practice sets for SSC CGL CPT, that is 50 typing, 25 Excel and 25 PPT, that we'll do in the next lecture. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me in this lecture. If you really like this video, please do like it so that it shows that you really appreciate our efforts, and also please do share this video with your friends so that they don't miss on all these videos, and please do subscribe so that you don't miss on any of our future videos. We are coming up with many new videos. If you don't want to miss them, please do subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much and have a nice day.